Hello, I'm Hector Elizondo, Emmy Award-winning actor, and I want to talk to you about getting older. My body hurts, my joints ache, and sometimes I forget. I forget that doing all your own scenes for a movie isn't always the best decision. Especially when you're galloping side-saddle down a countryside road on a horse named Archibello, who seems to have only one speed, high. And pulling on his reins only seems to encourage him to go even faster. So, of course, my body hurts and my joints ache, but it's not because of my age. It's because I'm living my life. Oh, Archibello!
Don't let life pass you by. Take care of your brain health. It may just help you stay on top of your game.
As soon as this scene wraps, I'm going to kiss the ground, thank Archibello for his outstanding performance, feed him a carrot, and visit brainhealth.gov.
Find out how you can make the most of your brain as you age at brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? Well, what's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents. And when a kitten has a litter of oopsies and a puppy has a litter of uh-ohs, pretty soon you have thousands and thousands of OMGs. And that leads to millions of pets being killed in shelters each year. But if 80% of people with pets say they believe in spaying and neutering, then what gives? Turns out that those sweet little fuzzballs can get pregnant sooner than you think. A lot sooner. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. You just have to remember one number, 4, as in 4 months. When you bring home Maggie or Ruby or Puddles or Clyde, get them fixed at 4 months old. It can be old enough to get pregnant, and it's definitely young enough to make a difference. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late. We stay informed. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
That you hate that lives down the street, the bully that lives around the block. Tell them all to tune into this program. You got some interesting stuff today. Well, first of all, we made it through the, what do they call it? The snow bomb or winter bomb or whatever they were calling it. I'd never heard the term before. And they were saying it's a regular term. Oh, yeah, we use this term all the time. I had never heard. And look, I live in an area where the weather changes every 5 minutes, so you got to be on your toes. And can we stop with the weather alerts already in my damn phone? I mean, every 5 minutes you're sending me the same alert. Seriously, it gets annoying. I mean, I half the time I miss some people texting me because, well, I should probably change the sound of it, shouldn't I? It's probably my fault. But it sounds the same as receiving a text from most people. So half the time I ignore it because I think it's another weather. So if I don't get back to you right away when you text me, well, now you know why, because I might think that your text is actually a weather alert. They literally seem to be sending me one every half hour or so. And it's the same damn thing. I mean, I get the fact that they want people to know and understand, but it's a phone, dude. It's a text. It's not like you're on TV. Remember the emergency broadcast system, which is pretty much useless right now? Well, it is. They were just. I had something here about them trying to expand and change the whole system, because at any given moment, most people are not listening to the radio or watching television. They're on alternative media. So if there was a national emergency or a local emergency, what they're estimating is at least 60% of the people would not get it. Well, it's different with your cell phone. You're going to get it because it's your cell phone. Everybody pays attention to that thing and carries it everywhere, just about everywhere they go. They have What else? I think I saw it on Amazon. A waterproof docking station, so you could take your cell phone into the bathroom with you when in the shower, so you could play your music. I mean, they got those connection things for playing music all. I don't know why you just don't get one of those waterproof speakers and stick in the shower, but you could actually bring your. I would suppose that you're supposedly supposed to start the phone before you turn on the shower, but I can see somebody suing the manufacturer of this waterproof cover or holding music box system because somebody decides to turn on the shower and then put their phone and it didn't protect their phone. I can see some idiot doing that. Well, I mean, it's just going to happen. In any case, here we have this wonderful snow bomb thing store. It dumped a lot of snow on us. Now, I don't know how. It's hard to gauge because the wind was so awful, and the snow drifts were, these were mega snow drifts. I mean, there was a snow drift. Some people's cars were buried by snow drifts. I think we got as much. The maximum I think we got was a foot. At least around here. So that the snow had to drip, but it was the light. It was a mixture. There was some heavy stuff in there, but it was mostly light, fluffy stuff, which blows around very easily. And that's what usually happens when you have colder temperatures, is you get the real light, fluffy stuff. I got some news here about Al Gore talking about this crap, too. Al Gore. And, folks, this is something that I told you about. I told you this is what they were going to say, and this is what they are saying. And I told you they were going to double down on this global warming crap. Even though they changed the name to man-made climate change, so that it allows them to say that whatever happens in the climate, whatever happens to the weather, is going to be man's fault. Here's from Climate Depot. Al Gore is quoted as saying, "This bitter cold is exactly what we should expect from the climate crisis." Now, here's from the guy. Anybody remember the hockey stick chart that he had in that Inconvenient Lie movie? They're called The Inconvenient Truth, or the Convenient Lie movie. Yeah, it showed temperatures rising in a hockey stick type of fashion. It was going to get hotter faster. And now this jackoff he's out there saying, well, yeah, these bitter cold temperatures is exactly what according to your hockey stick in your Inconvenient Truth movie, Al, the bitter cold is exactly the opposite of what we were supposed to expect. We were supposed to expect hot weather, melted ice, no snow, definitely no bitter cold. It's supposed to be January, and we're supposed to be up here in New England. It's supposed to be like Florida by now. Seriously. But instead, we go the opposite. We get negative, below zero weather in temperatures. We get these snow bombs. We get wind with wind chill factors in like 30 below zero. And Al Gore tells us now, after his Inconvenient, Truth movie, showing the hockey stick where temperatures rising, he comes out and says bitter cold is exactly what we should expect from the climate crisis. Now, I don't know how you go from hockey stick. What is this hockey stick going in reverse? Is that it? So the former vice president has weighed in on the record cold and snow in the U.S. It's bitter cold in parts of the U.S., but climate scientist Dr. Michael Mann explains that's exactly what we should expect from this climate crisis, Gore wrote in a January 4th on Twitter. Really? I don't follow Al Gore, so I missed that one. There are a few people. There are a few people I can't follow now. I think Rosie blocked me. I think I've blocked one person on Twitter in my entire life since being over there, and that person was a complete and total. He was a bigoted jackoff that accused me. During the height of the sexual scandal, he accused me of being a pedophile. Like, are you kidding me? And then when I complained to the first time I ever complained, I complained to Twitter about it. They said, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with that." Meanwhile, I am watching my those people whom I follow disappear. I'm watching my follower count drop even though I'm not getting rid of people at such a pace. Yesterday alone, without doing a thing, I stopped following 5 people, which only means now they wouldn't block me. They'd have no reason to. So the only reason that they would, I don't know who they are yet, but the only reason why they would be gone, that I'm not, now it's one thing if they stop following me. I can't do anything about that. But me not following them is a different story. I have to actually stop following them. Unless, of course, Twitter purges and deletes or suspends their account. 5 of them yesterday. 5. This is on top of 3 that I noticed the day before. So as this new year starts, start from January 1st, as the new year starts, at least 15 people that I used to follow no longer exist on Twitter. I'm just telling you. This is what's going on. So, but I don't follow Al Gore. I used to follow Rosie just so I could troll her. I'll admit it. But I think she blocked me because I don't get any more of her tweets. People don't even retweet her tweets. So Rosie O'Donnell must have blocked half of Twitter. Because even people that I used to get retweeted, that would retweet her stuff, I don't even see them in my feed anymore. So Rosie O'Donnell must have blocked half of Twitter at least. But so I don't follow Al Gore, so I don't get his tweets, and I know a lot of people just don't retweet his ridiculous stuff. Don't blame them, especially if he's tweeting this kind of garbage. You can't make this stuff up, folks. You just can't make it up. Now, Gore linked. By the way, do people realize that Al Gore became... Now, Al Gore was already fairly wealthy. He was rich. He was a millionaire before he started this carbon... The failed carbon trading whatever market, the carbon trading. Anybody remember that from the early 2000s? He was a lowly millionaire. He was, I believe his family made their money in cotton and tobacco. Al Gore Sr. made his money in tobacco. But recently, now Al Gore is now worth, I think he's like the Clintons now. He's worth over $100 million or something ridiculous like that now. When he left the White House, he was as vice president. He was worth a few $1 million. And he was still a lot. It's like 15 or 20 or something, but nowhere near the over what he got this wealthy in multi. By the way, we were just talking about this the other day about the wonderful Tipper Gore divorcing him. The wonderful woman that acted, when she was the second lady, the vice president's wife, when she was back then, she was, wanting to have government intervene. And you people on the left, you like your rap music, don't you? You like your explicit lyrics. Well, do you know why you can't have explicit lyrics on the radio? Do you know why you have all that beeping and blipping and silent, seconds on the radio? Because of Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife. Now, the left always blames the right on being these purebred and, because Christianity. Oh, you guys are just so boring and pure. Well, it wasn't the right that started this whole, thing on, catching people saying the wrong thing on the radio and preventing certain programs. Tipper Gore acted like the little old gray-haired grannies in the 70s when they were starting to tear apart Bugs Bunny. Remember that when they started in the 80s when they started cutting out all the real violent parts in Bugs Bunny cartoons. Now, Bugs Bunny cartoons were only about 6 minutes long in the first place. They started chopping them up, especially the Roadrunner. The Roadrunner sometimes, in some of the episodes of Roadrunner, went from 6 minutes to 3 minutes. Because they cut out 3 minutes of violence. Well, that's what made the whole damn thing funny. Well, this is what Tipper Gore did back in the 90s. Just saying. So you got this jack-off who's now, who was married to this woman who was who wanted to censor everything through government fiat, and this guy, her now ex-husband, who got caught cheating, by the way. You want to talk about a sex scandal? Now, I don't know who'd sleep with Al Gore. I don't think Al Gore is being a pretty man. I think he's pretty damn ugly, even before he got old. Yeah, he was cheating. That was the whole problem. Tipper must have. She must have. Well, maybe that's where Al Gore got some of his weather climate change things, because Tipper must have been extremely frigid in bed. That's why he was cheating.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Around the town when folks are snacking,
Bell's the brand, you'll find them packing.
the great taste tells. If it's Bell, it's swell. At parties, dinner, or when you're lunching,
Bell's the brand that gets you crunching.
the great taste tells. If it's Bell, it's swell.
The potato chip that's made today is fresh today to be crisp today. So dip away, eat them any old way, and let the chips fall where they may.
In the bag or boxed in the pack,
Bell's the one that keeps you coming back.
'cause great taste tells. If it's Bell, it's swell. Bell, swell.
Welcome back. Al Gore, I am told, is worth somewhere around $700 million now. Well, that's a lot more than 20 or 30 million when he left. Well, he didn't leave the White House because he wasn't president. But let's just say put it in those terms when he left the White House. That's selling a lot of crack. Now, I'm not talking about the crack that you crystallize it, right? Or no, you break it up and put it into a crack pipe. Believe it or not, I've never tried this stuff, so I only know how you utilize it by watching movies and TV, and I'm sure that they dramatize it and they get it a little bit wrong. I don't know how you smoke this stuff. Now, it's in crystal form. I guess you have to heat it in order to get it liquid. Now, I'm sorry if some people are probably thinking, you don't know how to use crack? No, I don't know how to use crack because I don't use it. I don't want to know how to use it. Well, you need to be able to recognize it. Why? I'm not a cop. I can pretty much tell what crack looks like in its crystallized form. It comes in a little baggie. But in any case, climate change is the left's crack. It is. Because no matter the reason why, I've told you this time and time again, the reason why they changed the title of it to global man-made climate change is because anything that happens in the weather, any weather pattern or system that changes from what they consider to be the norm, they're going to blame on climate change. If it gets too cold, well, it's man's fault. It's climate change. If it gets too warm, because we have a heat wave, it's man's fault. Climate. You get Al Gore. These are the type of temperatures that we should expect from climate change because, we're getting frigid temperatures. This is not the first time this has happened. This is not the first time this century that we've had this. This is not the first time in the past 100 years that we've had this type of weather pattern. It's a weather pattern. It's cyclical. It happens every once in a while. It snows in Florida. Not often, but it does. I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever to buy into this garbage. But this climate change is the left's crack. And speaking of crack, the left always says, well, we need government to. It's amazing how they want bigger government on the left. But they're the first ones to talk about anti-government type of stuff. Where is anarchy? Well, anarchy is, anarchists you would think would be on the right because smaller and smaller to no government. Well, that's the ultimate libertarian. The anarchist is actually on the left. All they want to do is cause trouble. They want their kind of big government to come in and to cause more trouble. This is... It is absolutely insane that we should have these people leading, so-called leading us. Hey, you can't watch violent Bugs Bunny cartoons, and that's okay to the left, but you sure as hell can go toke up and smoke a whole bunch of pot and get high. Now, people of this program know and understand that for various reasons, I do not believe that recreational marijuana use should be illegal. I don't use this stuff. I don't have many friends for a reason who use it on a regular basis, who smoke it. But do I look? Just do what Colorado did: legalize it, regulate it, tax it. If you're going to tax my cigars and people's cigarettes and other tobacco products. Marijuana is just another type of tobacco. We call it wacky tobacco for a reason. Tax it. Like you do cigarettes and cigars and pipe tobacco. You make yourself a whole bunch of money. It's not about money. I've told people time and time again, if the left really want to tax money to do what they want to do in state and federal government levels, they would institute a tax policy that maximized their revenue. That's not what they're about. It's about control. It's about ruling over your life, and that's the same thing with this climate change crap. They want all this climate change legislation. Why? Not to protect the environment, but to govern you, to rule over you, to control your life. They want to be able to. Somebody brought up a whole point that I also mentioned before about car. I would never want to have, not in this day and age, would I ever want to have an autonomous car. Because who would be able to control that? Government. Government will tell you, hey, late for work, too bad, you missed your window of opportunity to leave because of all the traffic, so you can't leave and go to work in this car for another hour. You don't think that would be coming, that would control traffic. Oh, I got so much more, folks. You don't want to go away this morning. You want to be here all 3 hours because we'll be right back.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
The weather outside is frightful, but the fire inside is so delightful. Yes, I know that's supposed to be a Christmas song, but it's actually a winter song, not just for Christmas. Because we did it yesterday. We let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, and we got a lot of it out there now. We know that it's fully winter now. We're in the winter season here in New England. The Old Farmer's Almanac did warn us that this winter, they predicted this winter was going to be colder than normal, colder than usual. Not necessarily as much. We weren't going to get as much snow as we got a few years ago when we broke all those snowfall records, but it was going to be colder than usual. And so far, they've been accurate. It has been. We got early snow, earlier than usual. Well, you would have to ask, what is usual? And now, frankly, I remember as a little kid living in New England when my father was stationed at an Air Force base in New Hampshire. We got snow normally in October, November. But in the late 90s through, now, it was more likely, it became, people got used to snow happening right around Christmas, after Christmas. We didn't always have a white Christmas here in New England. And so this year we had a white Christmas, and people are saying, well, the snow came early. No, not really. It's pretty normal. At least it used to be normal that we get snow this early. But it was a little surprising. I don't ever remember it being this cold, this long, this early. I mean, today, here's how we got a reprieve from the cold. We got up to a foot of snow and lots of wind with snow drifting, turning this thing into a near blizzard. This whatever snow bomb. Sure, it is in the teens and 20s for yesterday and today. And tomorrow we head back in for at least another week of another frigid, near zero, below zero at night temperatures. And this is insane. And we're supposed to all believe in global, well, this is weather. It's different from climate. No, bullshit. Weather and climate are interchangeable. You cannot have an absolutely heated up, warm climate where the climate is based on 80-degree temperatures, and then have a weather pattern that is this long that puts you in a deep freeze and dumps a ton of snow on you. It doesn't make any sense. You cannot tell me that because we have some cold weather for a month, but the climate is still warming. How? We've got ice caps growing at both poles, north and south. NASA took pictures. They take regular pictures of these places. And every time they take a picture, there's more ice than the last time they took a picture. But yet the planet is warming up? How? They take pictures of the deserts. We've got many deserts across the globe that are shrinking. How if things are getting hotter? I don't get it. And yet we got this jack-off Al Gore who's making hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars by scaring people into believing that there's such a thing as man-made climate change and that we're all going to burn up. And crops are going to die, and the poor aminals are going to die of heat exhaustion and thirst. And you know what? I don't know how we've lived all these these past couple of centuries. Evidently, the Industrial Revolution has killed the planet. Yeah, that's what I said. Killed it. We've killed the planet with industrial. Hey, everybody should love the wonderful pot-bellied pig dictator up there in North Korea. Then, well, if you ever look, you look at satellite imagery of the planet, except for Pyongyang up in North Korea, that entire country is pretty much dark. So that means it's not electrified. Hey. Everybody should be loving, all the left should be loving North Korea right now. Because they're he's trying to get this is where he's going wrong. He's trying to get a nuclear weapon. But he's anti-industrial revolution. Because there's no electricity, there's no power plants. There's very little modern conveniences outside of if you're a government official, you probably got all the modern conveniences, but most other people don't. At night you go to bed because it's dark because you don't have any lamps. You don't have lights. If you're lucky, you got candles, I guess. But hey, they're retro in North Korea. Let's just, be nice about it. They're retro. They're retro economy and retro culture. They don't need all that electronic and modern, electric gizmo garbage. They're one with nature up there in North Korea. Let's just say that. How about that? Well, you can't make this stuff up. So it's just unbelievable. So Al Gore is out there saying this is exactly what you should expect with global climate change, this bitter cold temperature. As if this has never... It'd be one thing if this had never happened before. Rod, the last time they got snow in Florida was 30 years ago. Okay, that's within a normal person's lifetime. So it's not abnormal. Now, if they got snow in Florida every single year from now on, that would be a little, there's a major change happening. That would be a little bit concerning. But getting snow in Florida once every 30 years is a cyclical pattern. That's pretty damn normal. And that hasn't changed, which means, if we were heating up and warming up, it would mean that Florida in the south that doesn't normally get snow would not ever get snow again. But they were getting it. Which means that the planet is not heating up. It's not... Well, hey, folks, I told you we're starting to hear this whole term "man-made ice age" come back. This is what they were telling us back in the 60s and 70s when they first started this Earth Day crap. Now, by the way, this whole man-made climate change thing, global cooling, global warming, it's been around for at least a century. Back during Woodrow Wilson's presidencies, when this stuff really started to you can look at this stuff up online. You can look it up online, and you can find stuff dating back to like 1920 and 1915. I think there was something here that I had gotten a while ago that was dated 1910, talking about global warming. Back in 1910. Now, folks, in 1910, the Industrial Revolution was about 50 years old. Honestly. And it wasn't even full-blown then. So how the hell could it have possibly been affecting our planet's climate in less than 50 years? But we had nut jobs back then talking about this. Oh, temperatures are good. So in other words, these jackoffs don't know what the hell they're talking about. And they're only doing it for one reason. To get bigger government and more regulation and laws put in place. That's what it's all about. Don't doubt me on that. I don't know how many times. I'm going to keep hammering this and hammering this. That's what it's all about. Plain and simple. Speaking of, they keep saying that things are going to melt down, I guess. By the way, did you see the speaking of meltdown, YouTube is having a meltdown over a YouTuber, a big YouTuber, a highly a YouTube star is I don't know what the hell the controversy is all about. Evidently, he filmed a suicide victim. What did he walk upon them and just and after the person committed suicide and film the body or something? Is that the whole? I don't really follow this kind of stuff, but but YouTube was all a Twitter. Yeah, it was all over the place on Twitter and about this YouTube star, and now he's I'm sorry, I didn't mean. Talk about being callous. But yeah, so YouTube was having a meltdown. There's another meltdown that's about to happen, according to CNN tech bloggers. Two major flaws in computer chips could have a huge number of computers and smartphones vulnerable to security concerns, researchers revealed earlier this week. By the way, there's also a sister story that goes along with this sort of thing. How I don't see it happening, but evidently people are being turned off and are stopped buying these overly expensive smartphones. Well, what's the cost of the new iPhone 10? It's like $800. Who in their right mind is spending that kind of money on a phone that's going to be obsolete in like a year or two? I mean, there's a new version that's going to be. You're going to get the iPhone 11 by the end of summer probably. But the phone is really going to be obsolete in a couple of years. So I mean, really, who's going to spend that? I'm not. I don't spend that kind of money on a laptop computer. Who the hell is going to spend that on a cell phone? But this is what they're doing. And fewer people, I guess, are spending that kind of money. Well, because it's new, Rod, and they're small, and no BS. People are willingly being overcharged. I'm just, I remember I used my my S3, my Samsung S3, until it just wouldn't work anymore. Which is by design, by the way, folks. These things just don't go bad on their own because you're using them. Well, they get all clogged up. You clean them up. And they still go bad. No. They're designed to, just like cars in the 60s and 70s and 80s, they had a built-in life expectancy. They purposely built the thing so they wouldn't last really beyond 100,000 miles. So you'd be forced to buy a new one or spend a lot of money at the repair shop. But there are two major flaws, and a U.S. government-backed body warned that the chips themselves need to be replaced in order to fix these complex problems. So you gotta replace chips now. Remember, this is what they said about embedded chips back in '99 when we were about to hit the year 2000. The flaws could allow an attacker to read sensitive data stored in the memory, like passwords, or look at what tab someone has open on their computer. Researchers found that Daniel Gruss, a researcher from Graz University of Technology, Graz, never heard of it, who helped identify the flaw, said it may be difficult to execute an attack, but billions of devices are impacted. Never heard of Graz. Where the hell is Graz University? Called Meltdown Inspector. Spectre, James Bond. Ooh. The flaws exist in processors, a building block of computers that act as the brain. Now, modern processors are designed to perform something called speculative execution. That means they predict what tasks they will be asked to execute and rapidly access multiple areas of memory at the same time. See, I don't know how all this stuff works. I don't know how it predicts it. Hey, he's going to press this button, so we're going to, we're going to get this kind of information. Ready, just in case he asks for it. Okay. Sounds good to me. Be ready. Be ready. Now, that data is supposed to be protected and isolated, but researchers discovered that in some cases the information can be exposed while the processor queues it up. So it's predicting that you're going to ask for your password or use your password, so it's going to get your password. People that walk around with all sorts of sensitive information on their cell phone, to me, you're just asking for trouble. You're an idiot. I'm just going to put it out there. Now, I'm not talking about, every once in a while you check your balance on your bank account or something. Of course, you have to use your password. But people put all kinds of sensitive information stuff on their phones. You know how easy it is to have your stolen or lose your phone? Well, it's encrypted. Give me a freaking break. You know how easy it is to... If somebody with the right equipment who wants the information off your phone, they can get it. In fact, they don't even have to steal your phone. What was it on Runaways? They copied a person's phone. Well, I mean, they took his phone, they copied it, didn't even have to crack his phone. They just copied everything on his phone and cracked it that way. I mean, come on. Don't put all this sensitive stuff, don't put your life on your cell phone. Well, I need it. No, you don't. To put it bluntly. Why, you don't have sensitive information on your phone? No, I don't. Look, it's bad enough that stuff can be on my laptop and my desktop computers. And the desktop I often remove it's not, the desktop is not hooked up to the internet on a permanent basis. You know how people leave stuff, I usually leave the laptop when it's on. It's usually hooked up to the internet, but the desktop is not. It is that's paranoid. No, that's called being smart. If I'm going to put stuff on a computer that's going to be sensitive, why would I leave it open for somebody to hack and attack? Phones are the worst. I love how they try to, Apple is supposed to be good at this stuff. I love how Apple has been very successful in hiding all the hacking attempts and hacking that has gone on in Apple products. There are people that reported their iPods, their music devices being hacked, and their music being erased or stolen. It happens. I'm just saying, don't put all your sensitive stuff on a portable device like a cell phone. I mean, that's just insane. There's no way in hell I'm doing that. I'm still not doing it. I'm not putting all my pertinent information that's easily accessible by somebody anywhere on the planet on a stupid little chip and expect that somebody who built the chip has my best interest at heart. Just nope, not buying it. Sorry.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
To all this computer stuff is nothing is infallible, folks. It's nothing's infallible. As much as they tell you, well, this can't be cracked, and this, you know what? When you say that you have something that's unbreakable, hey, well, it makes it probably makes it nearly impossible for a neophyte or an amateur to crack it. But all you do is you just really, what happens is you get all the experts around the globe. You challenge them to doing to breaking it, and trust me, when they finally crack it and break it, they want to do all kinds of harm and damage. So you just don't go out there and say, "Well, this is this is an unbreakable code," because as soon as somebody breaks it, and they will, they're going to say, "Aha!" And just to prove how good we are, we're going to do massive amounts of damage with the information that we've just stolen. And they do. Now, I know some encryption is very difficult, but nothing is... If man creates it, man can break it. Plain and simple. It's just plain and simple. But the easiest way to make sure that you don't get hacked is just don't just don't put all your sensitive stuff on your any device. And if that's hooked up to the internet or can be hooked up to the internet or access from a remote location, that helps solve a lot. If you actually have to get onto the machine, it makes it a little bit harder for people to do it. That means they would have to actually go to your house and break into your house and grab the machine in order to break into it. We see that in TV shows and movies where they actually have to break into somebody's office in order to use their computer to break into to a certain system because it's closed off from the outside. That's how it works. We'll be back.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told. Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of french fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. But most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event!
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
The opposite with his attorney general, who's going to put the hammer down on people who want to smoke pot. Yeah, I know. I'm looking at this thinking, what the hell is Jeff Sessions? So we can go ahead and crack down on people who sell and buy and smoke pot in states that it is now legal, but we can't seem to crack down on current and former government people who are lying and foisting fraudulent stuff upon the American people. We can't get Hillary. We can send an enlisted man to jail for a year for inadvertently taking a picture in the wrong area of a sub to send back to his family. But we can't jail people who are politicos or attached to high-level politicos who actually mishandle classified information. I'm sorry. I know Donald Trump is not perfect, and frankly, this is what I firmly believe about Donald Trump when it comes to Jeff Sessions. I think Trump knows that he made a mistake with him, but he's being told you just can't get rid of him. Politically, I would think that if this were in the private sector, Jeff Sessions would be gone. But because he's got so many people out there, in the swamp, he's got it. He just. I know what we'd all like Donald Trump to do is just walk in there and walk into every government agency and just say you're fired, you're fired. Yeah, that would be great. I called for that. But politically speaking, that's not really plausible. You can't nominate somebody and have them approved, especially somebody like Jeff Sessions, and then 6 months later fire him. Let's face it. You want to try to run the government like a business, it would make sense, but it isn't a business, and those people in Washington, D.C. do not understand business. So if he were to do that, people think, oh, all he wanted to do is just get rid of Jeff out of the Senate. There would be people coming out of the woodwork for that. So you can't really just willy-nilly fire high-level people like that. I know it's what we've been asking for and we think it should happen, but in Sessions has said, well, I'm not gonna resign at all. And he's not. Why should he? I mean, why would he want to leave Washington, D.C. willingly? He didn't want to leave the Senate. He kept going in and getting himself reelected. Why do you think you think he'd resign and go back home? No, he's not. He wasn't going to do that. So there are certain people that, because it's too early. Remember, I know it because so much has happened over this past year. There are many people that miss the fact that Trump has only been in office for just about a year. I mean, it won't even be a full, complete year until, towards the end of the month, another couple of weeks. But there's so much that's been happening that you think he's been in there longer. It's been a couple of years at least, but no, it hasn't even been a year yet. Not even a full year. So you're going to have to be patient on this one. Now, do I think that I'm going to? I might be wrong, but this is just a predictor. This is just a prediction. I'm going to predict that Jeff Sessions is not going to survive or stay as Attorney General for the entire 4 years of Trump's first administration. But he's not going to go away tomorrow. And he's not going to. I think he's going to tender either. He's going to. Well, I really don't. Well, yes, he can get fired. You just ask for somebody's resignation. That's how they fire people in Washington. He's going to tender his resignation before the end of the president's first term. Now, let me give you a little caveat here. I know some people are going to say, "Oh, you're just trying to cover your nuts on this one." Yeah, I am. I'll admit it. I'm going to say that he's not going to survive the entire 4 years without resigning. Jeff Sessions will resign, but that resignation may come in the form of, like Hillary Clinton, I just won't serve in the next administration if Trump wins. That's how it's going to happen. And that is what, and that's still the president is going to be saying, Jeff, I need to replace you, dude. Just resign, leave already. You've been here 4 years, leave it, go away, bye. Don't make me fire you in public, just resign. And that's the way it's going to come. So you're going to be stuck with Jeff Sessions for a while. But Jeff Sessions has always been there are some Republicans, like some Democrats, that are all about the federal government. Federal government has a right to do and say whatever it damn well pleases over the states, which is really not the case constitutionally. If a state wants to say, hey, we're going to make pot legal within our state, we're going to regulate it and control it in our state, we're going to tax it and have it in our state, then that state has a right to do that. And the federal government should leave its hands off of it. They shouldn't be coming in and trying to... Look, this is going to get messy real fast if they really try to pursue this. Can you imagine having a legal company? I mean, now this is going to scare banks half to death. Because what can banks be charged with now if they're going to go full after these people? Yeah, money laundering. It doesn't matter if the bank is federally or state chartered. They can go after them for money laundering because they're taking so-called federally illicit money, profits made off of selling an illegal product and then turning it, into a legal currency. That's called money laundering. Even if they don't go after the legal grower and the legal seller, they're going to go after the finances, and they're not going to be able to do anything with that cash. They're not going to be able to pay their bills, so they'll end up going out of business. This is what they're going to. I'm just sorry for those of you who now. I am not a big advocate of people smoking pot. No, it's not a panacea. It's not a perfect drug. It does do harm. We know it does. We haven't done an awful lot of research on it yet and the kind of harm that it can do, especially over a long period of time. But we do know that it does do harm. And we do know that is with the old-fashioned generic version of the plant. Nowadays, we've got plants that have been genetically engineered and genetically altered to increase certain kinds of chemical compounds to give you a more intense or a longer high. We have no idea what that kind of thing can do to a human body over time. We don't know because we haven't done any research. But we do know that there can be damage and that there is damage done, especially to the brain over a long period of time. When people utilize it use it for a long period of time on the old-fashioned regular kind of pot. Look, they've done these studies for decades on tobacco, so we know over a long period of time, certain types of tobacco, especially cigarettes, because you actually inhale the crap, can do some severe damage to your body, to many organs, not just your lungs. It can do some damage to a lot of organs in your body. No, but we haven't done these same types of studies yet on all these new kinds of marijuana. So we don't know the kind of damage that we do. We do know that the old-fashioned marijuana, we've done some research on it. It does affect the brain over a long period of time. What do you think we get the term burnout from? Hey, man, yeah, where did I put that last? I don't remember. We know that happens from extended pot use. That's just regular pot. So, no, I am not advocating that people drop cigarettes or all of a sudden, go out and because it's illegal in their state or their community and start picking up and smoking and toking on a joint. Now, if you want to do it recreationally every once in a while, fine, go ahead. I don't think it should be illegal. But understand, it is not a panacea. It is not a perfect drug. It does leave its mark like any other thing. Look, I fully understand that cigarettes are not exactly a healthy thing to do. It's not a healthy habit, but I like them. And they should not be made illegal or overly taxed. People have their vices, but you have some people in government that think that they have the ability, they have the right, the God-given right to tell you how to live your life. And if you don't follow it exactly the way they want you to live it, then they're going to create laws to make your life miserable and just to prove to you, well, see, if you would have just followed my rules, you wouldn't be in this trouble. No, if you would just leave me alone and not have had these stupid rules in the first place, I wouldn't be in trouble. That's how it works, folks. How about you actually go after real criminals? Pot is one of those things that they say is a victimless crime. Well, yeah, because you have a person who wants to smoke it. They willingly give up their money to somebody who wants to grow it and wants to sell it. Unless you start operating machinery or get behind the wheel of a car or something, and you're just smoking that stuff in your house. Really, who's hurt by this? No, I'm sorry. I'm being serious here. Well, I can't believe you're an advocate of the pothead. I'm not an advocate of the pothead. I am an advocate of people being able to live their lives how they want to live it, especially when it does not really affect the people around them. If you just smoke it in your house, your neighbor is not going to be affected. It's not going to bring down your neighbor's property values. I mean, let's face it. And in modern apartment buildings, these things are sealed up like little refrigerators anyway. Even cigarette smoke, you can't smoke a cigarette in an apartment building. Why? Your neighbor isn't going to smell it if your windows are closed. These things are all sealed. You ever see how these things are built today? These things are all sealed up. It's ridiculous. No wonder they got to have these air exchange things, because housing today is so sealed up that you can't even get fresh air in the house without having an air exchanger. And that's how efficient housing is getting. But so if you live in one of these, what's the big deal? I don't see a big deal. I don't see why we have to spend so much of our tax dollar, federal money, and effort and energy and manpower on trying to stomp out something relatively harmless, and cigarettes are relatively harmless too, is relatively harmless as pot. I mean, that's just insane. Do you realize having pot to be so illegal is what gave these cartels so much money? All over Central and South America. No, it's because they did cocaine. No, they did pot first because it was easier and cheaper to start. They got the cash to move into harder drugs. This whole thing about pot, making it illegal, was much like prohibition on alcohol, it was a failed and dumb policy. Prohibition gave rise to organized crime, especially the mafia. Folks don't realize that. We wouldn't have gone through the 60s and 70s, and the 50s with the with the FBI and Rudolph Giuliani making a name for himself by taking down big crime. We wouldn't have had that problem if it weren't for prohibition. I mean, seriously. Prohibition gave these gangs money so they could organize tighter organizations and become more and more sophisticated in their crimes. Well, this is the same thing that happened with pot. So this whole massive drug war, it's our own damn fault. Really, just like, the rum runners and the beer runners and moonshine runners of the day during Prohibition, the mafia in this country is really the fault of those stupid, wonderful purists of the day. We want to have a dry country because alcohol is so terrible. It's terrible. Terrible. We can't have that here. Well, what do you want? Do you want dangerous gangs running the world for something that is benign as alcohol and cigarettes and pot? I mean, honestly. And this is what Jeff Sessions is going to double down on. It's the wrong area, man. Why is he doing this if he's trying to... Well, is he purposely trying to avoid prosecuting and catching and prosecuting real criminals in D.C. from the D.C. swamp? You want to know my opinion? One word. Yes.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
Look, in our country, we've done something that is a little bit different from other. Like Canada, for instance, industrial hemp is legal. Now, hemp is just another form of marijuana. It doesn't have a TCT content of note, so you can't really. It's going to take an awful lot of industrialized hemp to get high. But you got the hemp seeds, hemp oil, hemp clothing, hemp paper. One of the reasons why pot and hemp, it was really to attack hemp, not pot. Not the stuff that makes you high. By William Randolph Hearst. Now, William Randolph Hearst was a huge paper, pulp, and forest owner. He owned a lot of forestry land. He owned a lot of paper pulp mills and paper pulping. He did a lot of paper pulp, not just for his newspapers, and he owned a lot of newspapers. And so hemp was competition for him, of which he did not want. Now, back in the early days of the Industrial Revolution, when these wonderful industrialists were gaining power and money, hand over fist, they had advantages over upstarts. Because there were no decent regulations to keep things fair. And you had some people that had a lot of money and power because they got started sooner, and they wanted to keep that money and power, so they wanted to eliminate competition. William Randolph Hearst was no different. He didn't want competition to his wood pulp paper. Well, because he had a lot of money invested in land and forestry land and paper milling and pulping and his newspapers. He had a lot of money invested in it, and he wanted to make profits off of it. So anybody that came up with an idea to use something other than wood pulp for paper, like cotton and like hemp, now understand the cotton industry also didn't like hemp because hemp could be used for what? Clothing. And what was cotton used for mostly? Yeah, clothing. A little bit went into making cotton paper, cotton content paper and other products that you see that have cotton in them, but most of it was in clothing. Well, hemp could also be used for clothing. So who didn't want hemp? Well, the big cotton industry and the big paper pulp industries didn't want hemp. So because William Randolph Hearst owned so many newspapers, what did he do? He started having his editors and himself write all kinds of letters and editorials against pot. And Congress finally said, "Go, you can look this stuff up." And they twisted Congress's arm to make it illegal. That's really why pot is illegal to this day, including industrial hemp. Ask yourself, if all they wanted to do was just stop people from getting high, they could do that. Why is industrial hemp still illegal to grow in this country? Why? Huh? Why?
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye? I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? What's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents, which leads to millions killed in shelters each year. Turns out, those little cuties can get pregnant sooner than you think. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. When you bring home a pet, get them fixed at 4 months old. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event!
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late, we stay informed, we invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Sessions in his decision yesterday, his announcement yesterday, took just about everybody in the swamp by surprise, according to all the reports out there. In fact, even got the Daily Beast is reporting that Republicans are telling Sessions to get your hands off of our weed. And it's not just Democrats that are blindsided by this and upset by this. It's Republicans too. Can you imagine, do you know what it's like to live in Alaska? For people who've never lived there, they look at these programs on TV and think that they have an idea of what it's like. No, trust me, I know people who live in Alaska, and it is not like you see it on TV. Alaska is a big, bold, beautiful state, yes, but it's boring because everything is in the middle of nowhere. And unless you live in like Anchorage or maybe even to a lesser extent Juneau, the major cities of Alaska, which aren't all that big, there is nothing. Unless you always want to go outdoors and be an outdoorsman, there is nothing in Alaska. In fact, most people in Alaska don't even have what we would construe as cable TV. They have to contend with satellite. Because everybody lives outside of town and everybody lives, in remote area. So you're bored. Especially at this time of year. Alaska has 10 months of winter and out of that 10, and 8 months of it is nothing but snow. So it's just, there's nothing to do up there. It's beautiful. I've known a handful of people who've lived up there, and they say it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. I would love to, vacation there. Wouldn't want to live there again, though. It's boring as hell. That's what I get. Each and every one of them said the exact same thing. Beautiful, great to visit, great to vacation, stay a month. Wouldn't want to ever live there again. It's boring as hell. Now, these are former Alaskans. I'm just saying. I've never been to Alaska, so I can't tell you. I can only relay what they said. So can you imagine, Alaska has legalized recreational pot back in 2014, 15, somewhere around there. So you have them, now Sessions is saying, well, we're going to send federal agents up to Alaska to crack down. Really? You don't think we could spend our money and our human resources in other areas that would really catch some real criminals? Honestly, if you toke up or even grow it, if you have the ability to grow it in Alaska, and the pot stays and it stays in Alaska, who's it harming? Honestly, who's it harming? I'm just asking. It's like smoking cigarettes. Yeah, it's something to do, I guess. Yeah. Hey, somebody could get high while Well, up there in Alaska, and sit on their porch with their guns and start shooting off at the deer and the elk and everything out there. Again, when your nearest neighbor is like 50 miles away, honestly, who's it going to hurt if you did do that? I mean, serious. Do you realize that there are parts of Alaska where there literally, and this is not unusual for Alaska, but you could, once you get outside the major smally, lightly populated city or industrial areas of Alaska, really, you start getting out into the country part of, not the rural part, but just the country part of Alaska. Do you realize it gets down to the population density could be like 1 or 2 people per square mile on average? I mean, that's really how loosely and there are parts of Alaska where you could 100 square miles, literally, you got one human being. I mean, that's the way it is. So really, if that one man in that 100 square mile region wants to smoke pot because he's bored, who's it really going to hurt but him? Well, what if something goes wrong and we have to send people out there to rescue him? How the hell are you even going to know to rescue him? He doesn't even have a cell phone because there's no cell towers out there. You're not even going to know to rescue him. So, in any way, FBI launches new Clinton Foundation investigation. This is what Sessions should be doing in the first place. He should be cracking down on this. The Justice Department has launched a new inquiry into whether the Clinton Foundation engaged in any pay-to-play politics or other illegal activities while Hillary Clinton served as Secretary of State. Well, this is something that a lot of people have been wanting to hear. Well, I mean, I know a lot of people say lock her up, but this is what I've been wanting is just, look, there are some serious allegations. There is some evidence to also back up some of those allegations. Why aren't we investigating this woman and this foundation? You know, you're trying to investigate Trump for the last 18 to 24 months over a fake dossier, fake allegations where there is absolutely no real proof whatsoever of any wrongdoing. And even if they did do some collusion, it's not illegal to do most kinds of what we would construe as collusion. So why are we investigating? No laws were potentially broken. The Clinton stuff, the Clinton Foundation, well, what the hell? There are potential laws broken all over the place. And there's some evidence that would back some of those allegations up. But yet, no serious investigation. So here, finally, FBI agents from Little Rock, Arkansas, where the foundation was started, have taken the lead in the investigation and have interviewed at least one witness in the last month. Now, wait a minute. Now, frankly, I got to admit, I didn't know that the foundation was started in Little Rock. Why was it started? They didn't move back to Little Rock. They started because of the Clinton Library that was built. I mean, is that where it's headquartered? Is the Clinton Library? Because otherwise, they were in New York. And by the way, the fire at their no, they have not come out and publicly talked about the fire at their home in Chappaqua. I still can't find any reports that say that whether or not they were home. It is believed that they weren't home at the time. So they say. And it was in the guest wing or a guest room is where the fire was. Supposedly. It's pretty weird how you can't get, accurate information about what's going on with the Clintons. Whenever a Clinton is involved, you can never get real, accurate, honest intel and info. It's all speculation. Well, we think it was a guest room. We're not sure, but we don't think the Clintons were. Why don't we know this stuff for a fact? Why don't we know any of this stuff for a fact? Somebody tell me, because the stories that I've read, this still comes across as being speculation. When it comes to the Clintons, we don't seem to know much at all. How is it possible? How is it? Two of the most powerful people in politics ever. And we don't know much about them? I mean, really? We don't know much about their day. Well, we don't know if they were home or not. We don't know what part of the house the fire started in. And why can't we find this out? How hard is it? It's not like the Clintons can put on a disguise and start walking around local malls unobserved. They never go anywhere without an entourage of security detail and personal secretaries like Uma Abedin. I don't think she works for Clinton anymore, but these people are they're too big for their own britches. They can't maneuver without an entourage. It's not like they can maneuver in secret. And it's not like people don't know what these two look like. And they're too damn old to run from the so-called paparazzi. I mean, one of them can barely, stand up for 30 minutes, let alone run. You ever see Hillary Clinton walk recently? I swear to you got to wonder what the hell's wrong with her. I mean, seriously, I'm being serious. She has no balance. You can see it in her steps when she's walking. She looks like she's a 90-year-old woman. She has no balance whatsoever. There's something seriously wrong with it. I don't know what it is. It may not be life-threatening, but there is something seriously wrong with Hillary Clinton. Just from personal observation of this woman, there is something seriously medically wrong with her. She has no balance whatsoever. And it doesn't mean it's life-threatening. Because there are lots of diseases that might not be life-threatening that could cause you to lose your equilibrium, your balance. I mean, a number of things could have gone wrong with her. And we all know that Bill has some health issues. I think Bill is kind of dead inside because I don't think Bill can actually have sex anymore because I don't think his heart can take it. And that's probably killing him as it is. Now, I could be wrong. I mean, again, I'm not a doctor, but this is just from outside observation and what I've read, what I've heard, looking at the two in public. I don't think Bill's healthy enough to have sex anymore. I think he's burned his sex life out. I think he could be one of those people that has a heart attack in the middle of an orgasm. I'm serious. I don't know that for a fact. But the point is that these two can't easily hide or run from people. They're too old and their health is not would not allow them to do so. So why don't we know their whereabouts? Why don't we know what's going on with these two? Just the weirdest thing when it comes to Clintons. But evidently there's a new Clinton Foundation. How about just a plain Hillary Clinton investigation? Yes? Well, the Justice Department, or the Daily Beast is also reporting that the Justice Department is looking into Hillary Clinton's emails again. What if you're not going to do anything about it, Jeff? If you'd rather go after people who smoke pot versus Hillary Clinton, who actually broke the law, who actually admits to breaking the law, with her email. I didn't know it was against the rules. I never put anything, that should not have been on my private server, Oh, you found something? I didn't know it was there. Oh, I sent it to somebody else? I forgot. I mean, come on. The Justice Department officials are taking a fresh look at the Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server while she served as Secretary of State. What are we, 5 years out now? 5 years. Why is, I don't know, again, weird. Nobody else can get away with this kind of stuff. The Clintons can get away with it, but nobody else can. Because, the Clintons can, Hillary can use it. Well, I was emailing Bill. Bill doesn't use email. According to insiders and people in the know, Bill does not have an email account. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but this is what I've heard. And by the way, why is it that we don't know so much about these two, if it's true or not? You always got to follow up. Well, Bill's got a gun. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's what I heard. Why don't we know? Again, we don't know. Here is a former president, a former senator and former secretary of state, and a two-time presidential candidate, and nobody seems to know jack about these two. Nobody seems to know for sure. One thing we know for sure, that the body count surrounding these two people is nearing the century mark. Yeah, there's somebody out there that's keeping track. 97 people that the Clintons have known, that either worked with them, called them friends, or what have you, died. And supposedly, none of them from old age. Untimely deaths. 97. Now again, we're not accusing the Clintons of actually ordering the hit on anybody or ordering their deaths, but it's just kind of strange that so many people die. I would never want to be a friend of the Clintons, man. That puts your health in... being a friend of the Clintons, and this is no joke, but evidently being a friend of the Clintons is more dangerous than smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. There's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
Finding out what Hillary Clinton knew, when she knew it, and how she utilized her email account her private email account while she was Secretary of State. And nobody ever said that having a private email when you're a government official is illegal. That in and of itself is not illegal. Conducting government business and utilizing, putting government secrets on your private email or private server is illegal. It's mishandling of look, if you got a poor sailor who was proud to serve his country and proud to serve aboard a submarine, and takes a picture of in an area that is of a not a most modern modern day sub, but an older sub, but still there was parts of the sub that are still technically top secret. Now, and this kid, hey, Mom, Dad, I am on my ship, my submarine, proudly serving this country. Takes a picture of it, sends it to them, and he goes to jail for a year for misappropriating and mishandling top secret information. He didn't intend to spread top secret information. He just wanted to send a picture of himself. Look, in his particular case, now let's be honest here. In this kid's particular case, he probably would have been sent up the river for a year, even if he took the picture inside his what do you call it, stateroom? I don't know, his berth. Now I don't know how many men to a room are there in a submarine? 2, 4? I don't know. He could have taken a picture in there, and they probably still would have said, it's top secret information there. How many people per room is top secret? Okay, but Hillary Clinton gets away with disseminating top secret information that could be easily hacked because it's on an insecure, read that as not secure, server somewhere in somebody's bathroom closet, as it were. Or it doesn't matter. It was an it could have been in their basement. Doesn't. Hey, nobody knew it was there. Who cares if we knew where it was? Hey, we don't ever know where the Clintons are half the time, so would it be any surprise that we didn't know where they kept their computer? And that computer disappeared a couple of times too, didn't it? That server, nobody knew where it was a couple of times. Well, we don't know where it is. He's no longer using it. Yeah, this is how you know that you're stupid rich. When you can spend a few $1,000s on a piece of equipment called a computer and turn it into a server, spend a few $1,000s in making it a server, and then just one day say, I don't know where it is. Most people lose their well, let's just say you're like me, you don't put a lot of important information on your phone, but if you lose your phone, what do? You go nutso trying to find it. Even if there's no important, even if all you use it for, you're an older person and you have an old flip phone, and all you do is use it maybe for texting and calling, nothing else. You lose that thing, what do? You go out of your mind trying to find it. One, because even if it only costs you like $50, because hell, that's $50. You don't want to have to go out and get a new one. And here you have the Clintons that half the time didn't even know where the damn server was. No big deal. I mean, it just has, national top secrets on it, so who the hell cares where the server is, right? Well, how about we look into that? How about we look into their handling of the server, too? With top secret, because look, once you got top secret information on it, that's, it's important. You got to keep track of that stuff. They mishandled their own server. They didn't even know where it was half the time. And we're always told, well, there was no other top secret information anywhere else. And every time who gets the information? Who decides to go looking into somebody else's computer? I mean, honest, who looks into that? Just wondering, just asking, just saying. Because Uma Abedin seems it seems like Uma and Anthony Weiner. How many computers did these two have? Every time you turn around now, oh yeah, we found more information on one of Uma's computers, your laptop. I thought they only had one. Well, now we know they have at least two, possibly more. Yet to do a serious investigation on these people, really, but we want to somehow crack down on people who just want to smoke a little bit of pot every now and then. Makes a hell of a lot of sense.
It was just another quiet Saturday at the Johnson home.
Honey, have you seen the hammer?
It's in the garage.
Oh, no, not the garage.
Later that same day...
Dad, I can't find the bicycle pump.
Son, I'm afraid it's in the garage.
The garage?
Then the following Tuesday...
Howard, where's the car?
It's in the garage.
Does your garage look like a giant yard sale without the yard? Do you cringe at the thought of entering your garage? Then you need Crest Garage Cabinets. With one phone call, those wonderful folks at Crest will come out to your home, design the best combination of cabinets for you, and install them quickly and professionally before your very eyes.
It's a miracle.
And unlike other companies who ask for a down payment or money up front, you won't pay a penny until your Crest cabinets are installed to your satisfaction. So call Crest today, toll-free at 1-800-548-2848. That's 1-800-548-2848. And you'll never fear going into your garage again.
That's ridiculous.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals, because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late. We stay informed. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event!
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Something that's related to the Clintons in a way. According to Alex Jones, Trump is clearing a path for Assange to be able to leave London. Yes, WikiLeaks acknowledged Trump administration ended grand jury proceedings. In the past few days, a series of unexpected developments have cleared the path for WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange to leave the Ecuadorian embassy in London without fear of arrest. Now, I don't know, at least for fear of arrest and being extradited to the USA. I don't know about other places. Wasn't he still wanted in a rape case investigation in one of the Nordic countries. I don't know if that's been handled yet. I think it was. I don't know. Look, I always admit when I don't know something. There are a lot of things that are swirling around Julian Assange. A lot of it is made up simply because of what he has done and what WikiLeaks has done. So on Tuesday, WikiLeaks posted a tweet announcing that the U.S. government had ended its 8-year-long grand jury proceedings against WikiLeaks. That was expanded in 2017 to cover WikiLeaks' various vault releases on CIA spy technology. Again, well, I suppose if the servers aren't in the USA, I don't know how we can. We have this terrible thing that we think that we can apply our laws all over the planet. It's not the case. It's actually not. It's not all that legal. Really, we send the FBI to places in order to catch terrorists overseas. The reality is, unless they actually commit a crime on the high seas or on U.S. territory, legally and morally speaking, we really can't arrest somebody. But we do. Well, that's really kind of kidnapping, actually. But who's into semantics, right? We're not going to bother with the semantics part. But in any case, so Julian Assange is evidently, he may be able to leave the Ecuadorian embassy. Now, because you get all kinds of information about Julian Assange. You heard that the Ecuadorians were going to kick him out. You heard that they were going to try to sneak him into Ecuador. You heard, you heard that the Brits were going to always camp outside, and as soon as he stepped foot outside of the gates of the Ecuadorian embassy, they were going to arrest him and extradite him to Norway or someplace. There is all this speculation surrounding this poor guy. People just send him stuff. All he does is look the stuff over and then post it online. I mean, seriously. That's all he does. But yet, and still, and we call that a crime. It's kind of like the movie The Post with Tom Hanks and what's her face there. You see the line being said or spoken in a lot of the previews. If we print this, we can go to jail. The reality is, no, you can't. Unless you steal a top secret document, and it's a top secret document, you can't go to jail for printing governmental documents or printing news about the government. It's called freedom of the press. But here it is in a movie. They want to make you think that the government can actually... Well, I guess the government can send you to jail for anything that they want because they can trump up anything on you. No double entendre intended there. Well, look at the trumped up charges they trumped up on Trump. Just saying. And do you realize that there are people out there now that so hate Trump that they will not call him Trump? They will call him by his homeland name, which I think he's originally German-Dutch, somewhere around that area. And his name was Drumpf. Last name was Drumpf. And I think it was his great-grandfather who came to the USA and changed the name to Trump. To anglicize it more, I guess. I don't know how much more anglicized you can get if you're calling yourself Drumpf, but I guess to more anglicize it, make it easier to pronounce here in the USA. As if Americans can't pronounce Jack, I guess, but which is why we have so many Smiths. Evidently, that's the ongoing myth or tale that's told about Ellis Island. Just not Ellis Island in New York, not in San Francisco or L.A. when they came in that way. Just Ellis Island, New York. When people came across, were immigrating and came across the border agents or customs agents at Ellis Island, and they asked for their names, and they couldn't pronounce the name back to the person. They would just automatically say Smith. And that's how Smith became probably the most popular name in America. But that's the tale. That's the story. I don't know how true that is, but that's the tale. So when it comes to Trump, evidently his great-granddad, I think it was his great-grandfather, Trump's grandfather, one of the two, immigrated to the USA, and they changed the family name from Drumpf to Trump. Pretty cool name change, actually. But, yeah, kids, I can't see buildings being named Drumpf. Really. But I think it was with a PH too. Where did I saw it spelled DRU. There was another. I think it was more complicated spelling than what you would think. It wasn't DRUMF. I think it was a more complicated spelling, like DRUEMPH or something. Drumpf is how they originally spelled it. And he changed it to Trump. Okay. So you got people now out there that so hate Trump that they won't call him Trump now. They just call him Drumpf. Like, well, that's not his name. Actually, his great-granddaddy or granddaddy changed it, so it's not his name. But who am I? In any case, so you have Julian Assange out there, who Trump is evidently now letting him off the hook. For what? I don't know what he's being let off the hook for actually printing the truth. He didn't steal the documents. People give it, like I said, people give this guy stuff all the time. Now, I'm not a huge WikiLeaks fan, and I'm not a huge Julian Assange fan, and I had him wrong. I didn't actually know that the man was, once married and has a kid. I thought he was gay. Okay, so I don't have an accurate gaydar. Is that what they call it, gaydar? Yeah, I can't tell. I've never met the man in person. I thought he was. I'd heard rumors that he was, too. So, but what do I know? Evidently, he's not. Good for him. None of my business anyway. But evidently, he just seems to be a very meek kind of person. He's not very threatening. Well, I know it does. Just because you don't seem threatening doesn't mean that you're not. But he just didn't seem to be so threatening where all these people all these countries wanted to get their hands on him and imprison him. All he was doing was simply basically publishing what people gave him. And for that, he's one of the most sought after, most hated men in the world. Now, you could argue, well, he's putting our national security at risk. Well, remember, Julian Assange is not an American. He's not American. People forget that. But look, as far as I'm concerned, he could do whatever he damn well, print whatever he wants. If somebody gives him stuff, and if it's of national or international importance, for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Real Linda, then go ahead. As long as if he's not stealing it, if he's not breaking in places to get it, why do we want to make that kind of information illegal? Should we not know what our governments are doing, not only to other governments but to us? Should we not know? Should we not have a say? This is supposed to be a government of the people, by the people, for the people, right? Should we not have a say in what our government does to us and to other countries? Julian Assange publishes the papers that tell us what our government is doing to us and to other countries. And for that, he should be thrown in jail. I don't think so. Philip Morris, on the other hand, is trying to get on Julian Assange doesn't try to get on people's good sides. He just prints the facts. Philip Morris, on the other hand, is trying to get on the good side of people. Yes, tobacco giant Philip Morris has a 2018 New Year's resolution to give up cigarettes. I'm not kidding you. Here it is in USA Today. Philip Morris International has made a dramatic New Year's resolution. Quote, unquote, we're trying to give up cigarettes. The maker of the cigarette brands like Marlboro, L&M, Parliament, and Chesterfield took out full-page ads in the UK, in newspapers in the UK, and said its new ambition for 2018 is to build a smoke-free future and to eventually stop selling cigarettes. What are they going to sell pot instead? They're going to sell marijuana? They might. The manifesto, as described on the company's website, is to help people quit smoking. Yes, quit smoking their traditional cigarettes and to one day replace them all with smoke-free alternatives like e-cigarettes and heated tobacco products. Well, you know, e-cigarettes are just as damnable now as cigarettes are. You can't smoke e-cigarettes anywhere. What's a heated tobacco product? Is that like a not a bong? What do they call those things? You know, a hookah? Would that be construed as a heated tobacco product? It's not a cigarette. Would a pipe, pipe tobacco, or would a cigar be construed as heated tobacco product? I don't know what heated tobacco products are really. I'm going to assume that it's like a hookah. There's a bunch of hookah lounges are popping up all over the place. I mean, all of a sudden we've got a few of them here in New Hampshire now. I've never been into any of them. I mostly because I don't know what to expect. I always think of a bunch of hippies running around inside these places, but I don't think it's the 60s anymore. So I don't know what. Is it a crack den? I don't know. I've never been inside a hookah lounge. I'm a little bit scared to do so. Why? It's only heated tobacco, Rod. Well, because I've never been inside one. And you can't even peer into the windows in these places because the windows are blacked out, and so it really makes you think, what the hell really goes on in there? And do I want to be seen going in or coming out of one of these joints? So that's really the big thing. But in any case, if you know what's in a hookah lounge, why do they call it a hookah anyway? The company claims that the alternatives are less harmful and that we can achieve a significant public health benefit only when a large number of these smokers switch from cigarettes to better tobacco products such as e-cigarettes or heated tobacco. Well, I agree. Since you don't inhale a cigar is healthier than a cigarette. I'm gonna go with that. So Philip Morris, a giant tobacco manufacturer, has issued a proclamation in Great Britain, in the UK, that its New Year's resolution is to someday stop selling cigarettes as we know it forever.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, But now, there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Cryptocurrency industry, the Bitcoin stuff. There's more than just Bitcoin out there, but anyway, we'll get to that in just a few minutes. First of all, let's get to today's holidays. Yes, today's holidays. There aren't many. As a matter of fact, there's only 3 on the list today. The first one is National Bird Day. Now, National Bird Day was created by Born Free USA, which used to be called the Animal Protection Institute up until 2007, and the Avian Welfare Coalition. Basically, this day was created to bring awareness to and to help reduce the suffering of wild and captive birds. This day is meant to raise awareness of the destructive bird trade and cruel breeding mills, and to work for the improvement in conditions for birds who are already in captivity. Now, I know there are lots of people out there that have like parakeets and macaws and such as pets, but you can't captive bird you can't release back into, in most cases, can't release back into the wild because they were raised in captivity. They just weren't captured and brought in. But I have always believed that you should not have a bird in a cage. It's not they're not meant to be pets. Birds I don't care what kind of bird. Little chickadees, oh, they're so cute, and canaries. I don't care what kind of bird they are. They're not meant to be caged. They're not a cat or a dog. You can play with a cat and a dog, and even a cat and a dog gets to go outside once in a while. Or a cat, if you have an inside cat, an indoor cat, well, at least they have an entire house or apartment to roam around. Birds have this little cage, and they're not meant to be caged up like that. I just think it's cruel. Now, I know people out there, well, they just can't release it. No, I fully understand that if you have a captive bird now, it is just as cruel or even more cruel to release them into the wild and have them fend for themselves. But hey, why would they want to escape? Because they're a bird and they know they should be out there flying free. Okay, I'll step down off my soapbox on that one. Don't get birds as pets. If you don't have a bird already, well, if you do have a bird, don't try to release it into the wild. But if you don't have a bird, don't get one. That's my suggestion on that. I don't believe birds should be pets. I'm not a fan of birds as pets. It's also National Screenwriters Day. Yes, today is a day that we observe screenwriters for, basically they're the script writers for movies. I don't think they call TV scripts screenwriters. I think those are script writers. Although they're all a part of the Screenwriters Guild. But today is National Screenwriters Day. If you want to get into writing movie scripts, then do so, because Hollywood is bereft of anything new. Come up with something new and you'll probably make a mint. It is also, lastly, National Whipped Cream Day. It's celebrated on the birthday of Aaron S. Bunny Lapin, Lapin. And now, who is Aaron Bunny? Why would somebody call a boy Bunny? Okay. Aaron Bunny Lapin is one of the founders of Ready Whipped Cream. He created Ready Whip in 1948 and applied for a patent for the dispensing valve for gas pressure containers the following year, receiving the patent in 55. Ready Whip began being nationally distributed in 54, and Lapin sold the company in 63. Today it's owned by ConAgra Foods and is the second most eaten brand of whipped topping in the United States. Really? What's the most eaten Ready Whip? Isn't it a non-dairy whipped cream? I don't know if it's chemicals. If it's non-dairy, I don't know what the hell that means. Whipped cream is made by taking heavy cream, at least 35% fat, and aerating it until it is light and fluffy. Ready Whip was created by using nitrous gas. The injection of such gas, such as this, under high pressure using a whipping siphon, is one of the two ways to aerate heavy cream. The other way is to use a speed blade, whip, whisk, or mixer. While doing so, the cream becomes about double the volume of the original cream. The higher the fat content of the cream, the easier whipped cream is to make. It is also best to use ingredients and equipment that are cold. So there you have it. Make your own whipped cream, because it is National Whipped Cream Day, and those are your holidays for today, January number 5.
You might be surprised to learn who has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Nearly 1 in 200 Americans are suffering with the debilitating pain and constant disruption of these inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. Chances are you know someone with IBD. For example, your neighbor or coworker. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation was created to help patients cope and to find a cure. People with IBD can't wait. Won't you help someone you know? Visit www.escapethestall.com today.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. But most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Ah! Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye? I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Rod Eccles Show in a Spanish accent. I should study Antonio Banderas and his accent and talk like him for the entire show. You think that would attract a lot of females if I talk like Antonio Banderas? What ladies out there, what guy has the sexiest voice? What male celebrity has the It's pretty bad. I have to actually, say that, determine, specify male or female when I'm talking to ladies. Ladies, what male star, music or actor or what have you, who do you think has this? It doesn't even have to be a foreigner. It could be an American. I don't know. Who do you think has the sexiest voice? No, it's not going to hurt my feelings because I know my voice is not all that sexy. But who out there has do you think has the sexiest? Maybe I should do that as a, well, no, you can't do it as a poll because you actually have to list some people. And I don't know what males might have a sexy voice other than Antonio Banderas. And guys, by the same token, what woman has the sexiest voice to you? I mean, it used to be, like Demi Moore used to be construed as having a sexy voice. I don't. Courtney Cox, maybe. I don't. No, not Courtney Cox. Yeah, isn't it their name Courtney? Not the Courtney from Friends. She was on another show. I think her name was Courtney something too. But I don't know. Who's got the sexiest female voice out there? Again, Demi Moore used to be said to have one of the sexiest female voices out there, like Kathleen Turner. Well, back in her heyday, when Romancing the Stone and everything. Not only was she a pretty lady, but yeah, Kathleen Turner did have a sexy voice. But today, who's got the sexy voice today? I don't for women. I don't know. Guess I don't pay attention. Does that mean I'm getting old? I can't keep track of these people. I don't know who it is. But I can name Antonio. Well, I've always liked Antonio Banderas. Well, because I've always thought the Spanish accent, when a Spaniard speaks English, now there's a difference between a Spaniard and a Latino. I've always thought, because a Spaniard has this type of voice, they always have this. They have this smoke and grittiness to their voice when they talk, almost like they're whispering. You don't get that from Latinos, and Latinos are more like this. And they talk kind of fast, and they kind of talk kind of high. They have a high voice, and that's not sexy at all. And don't blame me. I'm not the one who says that. That people like Gabriel Iglesias, funny as hell. He makes fun of that kind of stuff too. So they say it. Spaniards don't. So I've always, even more so than a French person speaking English, I think the Spaniard accent is probably. I happen to like the French language. I really do. But I think when it comes to who sounds sexy, I think if you have a Spanish accent, not a Latino accent, a Spanish accent is pretty damn sexy, male and female. Although the female Irish accent is pretty sexy too. Just saying. Well, I have a soft spot for Irish lasses, I guess you could say. Any case, no, I know somebody's going to try to hook me up with somebody who's from Ireland. I can just see that happening. But no, anyway, moving on. Bitcoin. Bitcoin is evidently not the only big cryptocurrency out there. I've said this before. That's why I don't get into Bitcoin, because I don't know what all this stuff is going to, how it's going to fall out, work out. Who's going to end up on top, who's going to be the big dog, how it's going to be utilized, how are they going to utilize. I don't understand any of this crypto stuff, really. And logically speaking, I understand the reasoning behind it, but the actual implementation, I don't understand how this stuff is worth so much. But there's a rise of a Bitcoin competitor called Ripple. Is creating wealth on paper, however, to rival Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. This is from the New York Times. I'm not kidding you. When I saw this, I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. Out of San Francisco, Dateline San Francisco, the virtual currency boom has gotten so heated that it is throwing the list of the world's richest people into disarray, so says the New York Times. Because God knows we got to keep track of these very wealthy people. We got to put them in, first, second, third. For people who don't, leftists who don't like competition, they're sure very keen on making sure who's number one and number two as far as who's got the most money on paper, anyway. The rivals of founders of an upstart virtual currency known as Ripple has seen its value skyrocket in recent weeks. Now, I never heard of Ripple. Now, at one point on Thursday, Chris Larson, a guy named Chris Larson, a Ripple co-founder, who is also the largest holder of Ripple tokens, or Ripple coins, was worth more than $59 billion, according to figures from Forbes. That would have briefly vaulted him ahead of Facebook chief executive Mark Zuckerberg in fifth place on the Forbes list of the world's rich. Do we keep track of this on a daily basis? We really keep track of how wealthy these people are on paper on a daily basis? I did not. I only look at the list like when it comes out once a year. Well, you have the Forbes list of wealthiest and you have the Fortune list of wealthiest, right? And I only look at those lists when they come out once a year. I didn't know that they keep tabs on these people on a daily basis. That's pretty damn sad if you ask me. But Other top Ripple holders who have also zoomed up the list as the value of their tokens soared more than 100% during the last week alone. And they've zoomed more than 30,000% in the last year. Now, the boon has turned Ripple into the second largest virtual currency within striking distance of the original behemoth, Bitcoin. Again, I'd never heard of it. I know of Bitcoin. Never heard of Ripple. But then again, there are, according to a report I brought you earlier this week, there are more than 1,400 alternate or digital currencies out there, including one that is called Cloud. Was it Cloud Coin or Cloud Currency? It doesn't use this so-called blockchain. In other words, it doesn't use a blockchain in order to keep tabs on transactions. Now, it's truly anonymous, and it all works in the cloud, not off of somebody's computer or server. I don't know how that works. I don't understand. And as much as I try to understand all of this, it still doesn't make any logical sense to me. And so if something doesn't make logical sense, then I'm going to stay away from it. Because who's utilizing Ripple as a method of payment? I don't see anybody online taking Ripple, at least not that I know of. They're not advertising. I mean, I've seen some places online that have agreed to take Bitcoin, but I haven't seen any of those places agreed to take Ripple. Now, here's the other problem with all of this cryptocurrency or cloud currency. While most of these currencies were worth nearly nothing a year ago, many are now responsible for creating billionaires. This is a so-called tulip fever, which has spread to chrysanthemums and poppies. Now, a couple of hundred years ago, tulips in Holland and in other Nordic countries just around Holland, tulip bulbs were considered and construed as currency. You could actually pay your bills back in those days with tulip bulbs because they were so highly prized and they were so overvalued that it was actually considered as money. I don't get this. Well, can we go back to tulips? It being used as money? I'll go for that. Why not? Mr. Larson of Ripple's wealth sparked a few congratulatory messages on Twitter on yesterday after the value of Ripple and his Forbes ranking dropped later in the day. But his net worth and the ballooning value of Ripple tokens mostly drew comments about the irrationality of the virtual currency markets, which appear to be largely driven these days by fear of missing out, otherwise known as FOMO, F-O-M-O, fear of missing out. I don't have a fear of missing out on whatever that trend is. I don't have a fear of missing out on it. Now, at some point, just like, hindsight is always 20/20. I love these people when they get on the air or they talk about stocks and, oh yeah, if you would have invested $500 in Walmart back in 1968, it'd be worth $5 billion today. Well, duh. Anybody can make that claim. If you had invested, just $1,000 in Apple back in 1980, you'd be a multi-millionaire by now. Yeah, duh. That's obvious. But how many for each one of those so-called, humongous successes, how many other companies either failed or were just mediocre? And you're not getting rich off of them. Not to mention, it's over a 30, 40, 50-year period that these rises in value took place. Not in a week. Like these all this stuff, we know historically speaking that when stuff rises this rapidly and value rises rapidly, the bottom falls out and it crashes hard. And a lot of people who get in later or stay too long get really, really, really hurt, financially speaking, and stuff. This is why I do not suggest anybody jump on board any of this crypto or cloud-based currency until it shakes out, until you start seeing major companies, until you can pay your bills, your everyday bills, like your gas bill, your electric bill, your cell phone bill, until you can pay your everyday bills, until you can walk into a grocery store and buy groceries with a cryptocurrency. In my book, it is speculation. And when the day comes when you can start buying, paying real bills with cryptocurrency, you're going to see government get involved and heavily regulate it. Why? Because they're not the ones creating it, controlling it, or printing it, and they need to be able to do so. And until then, I'm warning people, because you don't know which one's going to win. Everybody, it's just going to be Bitcoin. Why? Why is it going to be Bitcoin? Why isn't it going to be something like Ripple or one of the 1,400 other ones? You just don't know. Now, if you want to play the game early and get out early, go right ahead and speculate. I still don't know how you cash out on this crap, but go right ahead. I'm telling you, if you get caught and you get hurt, it isn't going to be because you didn't hear a warning, at least not for me. I'm just telling you right now, this is not going to end well. Just logically speaking, it can't. Do you think governments around the globe are literally and actually going to allow a currency where you can actually pay your real bills and maybe even your taxes in a currency that the governments themselves, in some form or fashion, do not print or control? It just ain't gonna happen, folks.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Okay, let's go.
Again, with the wonderful Bitcoin type of stuff, if you want to go and play in that field, go right ahead. But I'm I'm here to warn you that it's not going to end well for lots and lots and lots of people. And in the end, you might even have some people, governments wanting to put some people in jail over the cryptocurrency stuff because they're going to call it fraud and pyramid schemes and all this kind of stuff. Look, if you have a currency, this is a problem with this guy, Lars. He owns his version, his coins. He's the biggest holder. Doesn't he have it in his own interest to make sure that it's not just stock? It's not like a stock. It's actual money that can be used to spend. And if it has a certain value, doesn't he make out on it? I can just see all the lawsuits happening right now, and they're just coming, folks. They're coming. This is it's unbelievable stuff. Anyway, Apple leads a race to become the world's first $1 trillion company, not in sales, but in value, which is really pretty stupid because you have companies like Walmart that actually have, make more money. What is Walmart doing now? Like $500 billion annually in sales? That's not Apple. But Apple, again, the so-called value of it. The race is on to become the first $1 trillion company with all eyes fixed on tech giants such as Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and Alphabet, the parent company of Google. Financial commentators and investors predict 2018 will herald the first firm with a stock market valuation of $1 trillion or more. If technology prices, share prices continue to rise as strongly as in 2017, hell, Bitcoin might get there first. The way, or Ripple, the way they're rising. The Californian firm that transfers mobile communications, music, and photography with the iPhone is $140 billion ahead of Alphabet in its market valuation, and currently has a market valuation of around $730 billion today. That's that's kind of insane too. But then again, what was it? Didn't Berkshire Hathaway recently reach a milestone? Each share was worth like now was it $250,000 that it hit per share? It's ridiculous. Any case, we can look at Berkshire Hathaway really quick. But Democrats, on the other hand, are finding themselves split. With the new deadline approaching, Democrats in Congress are struggling to adopt a unified strategy to protect hundreds of thousands of young immigrants from deportation. These are also known as Dreamers or DACA recipients. Now, Democrats in action has enraged liberal activists who have shifted their anger away from the Republicans who run Congress. And Democrats are trying to balance their commitment to a progressive priority with their desire to avoid a government shutdown, as well as many of those who are up for re-election trying to keep their desire to remain in office. Now, such groups as MoveOn.org are threatening to champion primary challenges against incumbents who don't fight hard enough for these young immigrants. Are commonly referred to as Dreamers based on the never-passed proposal in Congress called the DREAM Act. Trump wants the wall. These liberals don't want the wall. I just saying. They don't want. So they're going to primary those people who don't fight hard enough. For the Dreamers and keeping them in the country, I guess. Hell, they can go ahead and deport all of them as far as I'm concerned. But in any case, they don't seem to be all that concerned with the protections of citizens here in the United States. They don't seem to be all that concerned about it. But I guess you can honestly say that it is what it is. Here it is finally for today. Berkshire Hathaway is actually worth an amazing, ridiculous amount. It's currently at just under $300,000 a share for the A stock, Berkshire Hathaway A stock. B stock is around $200 per share. But B, I don't think you get any votes with the B stock. It is what it is, folks. We're out of time for today. We'll see you back here on Monday. Have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain what, why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For Clinton, what's loaded in some fat apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.